Good day, everyone. My name is Jessica, and together with my group members Tracy, Ting, and Azrina, we are pleased to present our comparative analysis of two major global education frameworks. Today's presentation focuses on UNESCO Education for Sustainable Development for 2030 and the OECD PISA Global Competence Framework. These frameworks guide how education systems respond to rapidly evolving global challenges. In this presentation, we will first compare the key features, strengths, and limitations of both frameworks. We will then present three policy recommendations that translate these frameworks into practical strategies for our context. Before we begin, I would like to briefly introduce our group. My name is Jessica, and I will be serving as the group leader for this presentation. I am responsible for the comparative analysis and the concluding recap. Joining me are my group members, Tracy, who will present our first policy recommendation, Ting will present the second recommendation, and lastly, Azrina will present the third. Together, we have collaborated to develop a coherent and evidence-informed presentation that connects global education frameworks with practical policy strategies. I will now begin the presentation with an introduction. Education systems globally are confronting increasingly complex issues such as climate change, social inequality, and cultural diversity. These realities reinforce the need for future ready education that equips students to think critically, act responsibly, and engage across cultures. International frameworks support this transformation by shaping shared goals and guiding system level change. The purpose of our presentation is to therefore twofold to compare UNESCO ESD for 2030 and the OECD PISA Global Competence Framework and to present three policy recommendations that can strengthen sustainability and global competence within our educational context. Our structure today will move from analysis to recommendations and finally a brief recap. Beginning with UNESCO ESD for 2030, this framework places sustainability at the center of learning. It promotes system thinking, ethical responsibility, and alignment with SDG 4.7. Its strengths include a holistic and action-oriented approach, though challenges remain in terms of resources and assessment capacity. The OECD PISA Global Competence Framework, by contrast, emphasizes intercultural understanding, global awareness, and ethical engagement. It provides measurable competencies and international benchmark, yet offers less focus on sustainability and relies heavily on assessment tools. Taken together, these frameworks are complementary. ESD prioritizes sustainability and transformative action, while PISA focuses on global competence supported by measurable assessment. With this comparison in mind, we now move to our first policy recommendation, which will be presented by Tracy. She will introduce a national benchmark design to align sustainability and global competence across the curriculum.
Thank you, Jessica. Our first policy recommendation is the development of a national sustainability and global competence benchmark. This benchmark would provide a clear and coherent progression of learning expectations across grade levels, ensuring that sustainability and global competence are embedded systematically rather than addressed in fragmented ways. By aligning the curriculum with both UNESCO's ESD for 2030 and the OECD PISA Global Competence Framework, schools would benefit from greater consistency and clarity. Such a benchmark would establish shared standards for systems thinking, intercultural understanding, and ethical responsibility, supporting teachers in delivering more purposeful and future oriented learning experiences. International evidence shows that countries with clear national benchmarks are better able to monitor progress and reduce disparities across regions and schools. A unified benchmark would therefore strengthen equity, coherence, and long term instructional quality. I will now hand over to Ting, who will introduce our second policy recommendation focused on building teacher expertise and innovation.
Well, thank you, Tracy. Our second recommendation is the creation of a teacher fellowship program for sustainability and global competence innovation. This program would identify and support a group of teachers each year who demonstrate strong commitment to advancing sustainability and global competence education. Fellows would receive specialized training, mentorship, and opportunities to collaborate across school. They will lead the development of interdisciplinary units, highlight innovative classroom practices, and build professional learning communities that extend beyond their own institution. Research shows that sustained teacher led professional learning is one of the most effective drivers of educational improvement. By empowering teachers with advanced expertise, this fellowship program builds long-term system capacity and ensure that global competence and sustainability become embedded across teaching practices rather than remaining isolated initiatives. I will now pass to Azrina, who will present our third recommendation, which focuses on experimental and community-based learning.
Thank you, Ting. Our third policy recommendation is the establishment Living Learning Labs, which are school community partnership designed to provide students with authentic, experiential opportunities to apply sustainability and global competence skills. These labs may include projects such as energy audits, waste reduction initiative, urban gardening, cultural exchange programs, or collaboration with the local organization and NGOs. Through these experiences, students engage directly with the real-world issue, strengthening problem-solving skills, civic responsibility, and their understanding and a global and local interconnectedness. Living Learning Labs translate the goals of the both frameworks into the concrete practice. They situate learning within meaningful contexts, promote students' agency, and deepen engagement through hands-on involvement. Evidence from ESD research shows that experiential learning significantly enhances motivations, critical thinking, and long-term retentions. I will now return the floor to Jessica, who will conclude our presentation with a brief recap.
Thank you, Azrina. To conclude, our presentation highlighted the complementary strength of two global education frameworks, UNESCO ESD for 2030 and the OECD PISA Global Competence Framework. Together, they offer a comprehensive vision for preparing learners to navigate a complex and interconnected world. Our trade policy recommendations, a national benchmark, a teacher fellowship program, and community based living learning labs provide practical pathways to bring these frameworks to life within our context. Each recommendation supports systemic coherence while promoting meaningful, action oriented learning for students. Thank you for your attention. Have a nice day.